Good morning. I'm Don Dickey, a member of this congregation. It's my privilege to welcome you here on a day that is crisp and bright and sunny, and the furnace is working, the elevator's running, air conditioning is in reserve for next summer. We're in good shape. Oh, the new carpeting. Want to welcome those who are joining us by live stream, and thank you for sharing this special hour of the week. Couple items. The flowers you see here are from the staff, and they are for Judith Cady, our Minister of Religious Education. She's had some health challenges. She'll be out for a couple weeks, and cards, emails would be appreciated to show some concern. Also, today we will hear from our coming of age kids who are graduating, and they will be sharing their credos with you. Two of the youth will not be here, and also in the interest of time, the credos are being shortened just a bit. So the full credos for people reading and also for those not here will be available in booklets. You may pick them up on your way out, and you'll get the full text. Also, on the calendar in your order of service, I'd like to call your attention to one item. Tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock, in the library, Reverend Kendall Gibbons is requesting you participate in providing her with some feedback for future sermons. So if you wish to have some input on what will be put out from the pulpit in the future, you can make a very direct contribution. Your input would be appreciated. Yes, ma'am.
Can you submit it in writing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. She'd love to hear from you. And do we have any members today who have brought a guest or visitor? If so, be so kind as to stand and have them stand. Let us know their name, where they're from. Yes.
My name is Donna Willard, and I'm from Ruidoso, New Mexico. I appreciate the kind greeting that the hospitality people gave me. I ended up spilling the cups and the surgery. And I'm here with my sister in the choir, Mary Lindsay.
Welcome, and thank you for being brave enough to stand. Are there any other visitors who would feel comfortable standing, letting us know who you are and where you're from? Well, to all of you, welcome.
Good morning. Welcome to our coming of age service. In some cultures, as a rite of passage, youth are put through a demanding series of tests to determine their maturity in decision making, their spiritual depth, and their physical endurance. In Unitarian Universalism, we don't expect our youths to spend a few days in the wilderness by themselves. Through the Coming of Age program, we do present them with the opportunity to grow as mature decision makers and as lifelong spiritual learners. Coming of Age is an enrichment program for middle school youth designed to help in the process of moving into adolescence. The Coming of Age program focuses on these themes: learning about Unitarian Universalism and life values, creating a personal credo of beliefs, developing a relationship with an adult mentor, and creating a social connection with their peers. The Coming of Age program does not give our youths absolute answers. We trust them to find these answers for themselves. What the program does provide is a launch pad for the lifelong process of building a personal faith and a life practicing that faith. Today, we honor and celebrate the completion of a year-long coming-of-age program for 10 of our All Souls youths. This program culminated with a trip to Boston to learn more about our UU history and faith. Judith Cady, Minister of Religious Education, shared the following story. She wrote, "On one of our coming-of-age trips to Boston, we visited the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. There, our youths were asked to take a personal position on statements related to social justice issues. They were asked to explain why they chose their particular position. As I sat there listening to our youths, I was blown away by their answers. I thought to myself, they really are Unitarian Universalists already. They really are listening in our religious education classes. They were expressing our Unitarian Universalist principles and values in their own words. They were passionate and articulate in standing up for their beliefs." Again, this year, the adults involved have been amazed at the intelligence and compassion of these young people. They are dedicated to their own spiritual growth and to being of service to others. They are well-informed and passionate about social justice issues. This morning, they will share their personal credos with you, with all of us. They have lots of thoughts about their personal beliefs, but because there are 10 of them, we had to limit their speaking. I know you will be as impressed with these young people as we are. And I hope you will take the opportunity to pick up a booklet so you can read the full text of each youth's credo statement. These coming-of-age youths are the future leaders of our Unitarian Universalist congregations, and we can all be very proud of them. This morning, as we begin worship, we will begin with lighting the chalice. Evan is going to stand in for his brother Parker, and his lighting the chalice reflects the light of compassion and service that our coming-of-age youths bring into All Souls and into our world community.
Good morning. My name is Evan, and I light this chalice for respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part.
And now if you will please rise in body or in spirit, and we'll sing together, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. If you'll please remain as you are, we will affirm together our covenant by speaking it together. Goodwill is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Oops. Our preschool through third grade classes will go on out to classes at this time. We'll sing them out. Fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh graders will stay in the service today. Please join me in singing the younger children on their way.
Good morning. Good morning. For those of you who don't know, I'm Savino. So real quick, I just want to go ahead and thank all of you for raising a lot of money to send all of us to Boston. I know I certainly feel enriched, and I think I speak for everyone else when I say we all do too. So let's get on to the credo. So there are a lot of theories about the meaning of life. People have been thinking about this since the dawn of civilization and humanity. But in my experience, which I know is kind of limited, one can attain meaning in life from trying to contribute to society. I notice that whenever I do in some way, I feel better about myself. So many major religions tell people to do this in some way or another. And these religions are all the way across the world. So I think if people across the world can come to one conclusion on something, there must be something to it. I think there's also not one set way to go about finding meaning. I think you have to do it in whatever way works best for you. I've also noticed that whenever people get caught up in dogma of religions, it usually doesn't go super well. But like I said, I feel like, I don't know. Also, finding meaning for life, just in general, why should I worry about it? I think it's kind of a mystery. It's interesting why we all feel the need to find meaning. I kind of think it's biological. Like if you look at ecosystems and things like that, everything sort of finds its natural place in the world. So I think it would definitely be interesting to learn more about like why we seek to find meaning. It's just kind of an interesting question. So anyway, on to the next part of the credo. At this UU church, we respect 7 different principles, so I'll go ahead and run through them real quick. Each person is important. Be kind in all you do. We're free to learn together. We search for what is true. All people need a voice. Build a fair and peaceful world. Care for Earth's lifeboat. So all of those principles kind of revolve around our main covenant. They all tell us to like search for meaning, make your community a better place while you do it. Don't be a jerk. So all these are kind of tied together, but for this credo, we were supposed to sort of dive deep into one principle. Like, I think it would be rather difficult to live by just one of these principles, but I chose a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, which also known as we're free to learn together, because it seems to kind of encompass the UU faith, and it does a good job of encompassing all of them, mostly because it talks about attaining meaning, but also doing so responsibly. And I would say this means to look for what fulfills you, but it also means to go about doing that constructively. And doing that constructively would mean staying away from like radical beliefs and trying to make your society a better place. I've probably said that a bit too much by now. So now on to the next part, current ethics and values. I think this should tie sort of into the principles part. And I also kind of expect these will change over time because I'm 14, but like a lot of people here are like older than 14. And like my guess is you know a little bit more about life than I do. And that being said, I also hate being wrong a lot. So I try to think of my current ethics and values. I try and stay adaptive. And I try to be considerate because like being adaptive just seems like that's one of those things it's able to help make your environment a better place, just make everything work better. And then being considerate is, being considerate. You think about your actions, how they will impact other people. That was kind of a word salad. Anyway, I've also noticed that some things require big action to incite change, and that action can be inconsiderate. And I realize that, but I also realize that as there's still a lot I don't know about the world, I wouldn't accidentally want to go in, try and do something, and then mess everything up. So I believe that currently it's my place to learn as much as I can about the world and how to fix it. And that kind of leads into the next point, which is social justice. Now, our church is very heavily centered around social justice. And I believe, like I said earlier, my responsibility is to learn as much as I possibly can. Because there's a lot wrong with this world, but there's also a lot right with it. And I would want to know what's what before I go in and start shaking things up. So, that being said, from what I can see is wrong with the world, all comes from the greed of people. And this greed just manifests itself in many different aspects of society. The main one that I can see is political corruption. But our democratic society has thought of this, and it's put measures in place to prevent this corruption that sometimes people aren't able to take advantage of. And so I think the more I learn, the more I'll learn how to be able to take advantage of those and how to help make my society a better place. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're not all as tired as I am. But hey, I'm here and I'm alive, so I guess that's a good thing. As you can see, I'm up here to speak my credo, and I hope you guys all enjoy. As I think about my beliefs, I've come to think about what the meaning of life is. Now, the more I think about it, the more it all makes sense. Life doesn't necessarily have to have a meaning, but it can if you want to. It's just there. It's there for you to make it a meaning. It's there for you to give it a meaning. Now, if you want to do something with your life, hopefully you do. If you don't want to do something with your life, maybe you should consider that thought. There are 7 principles in Unitarian Universalist faith, and I must choose which one I have to use in my life. Now, like Savino said, it's kind of hard to do that. And to think about which one I have to use, I kind of have to use my entire brain to think about it over and over again. So, after all those cups of coffee and all that thinking, I think I can figure out which one I associate with the most. It is the 4th principle, or a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. To me, it means that anyone has the opportunity to seek the truth in life, and to seek the truth in love, like our, says. Now, of all the possible ways I could live this in my life, which I assure you there are lots and lots of ways, but for me the simplest way, and probably the most effective way, is by going to this church. You see, this church allows me to seek the truth and meaning in life. And it really makes me feel good about that, because other churches, they don't let you do that. But this church, it lets you search what you want to search for, as in this case, life. Now, as for the subject of ethical values, they're all important in our lives, but the 2 that really are the most important to me is equality and honesty. Of all the values, these 2 are the most important to me. Equality, because we're all humans, and just because we make mistakes doesn't make us non-human. And honesty, because if you got your hand stuck in a cookie jar, I'm sure you want to be honest if you want to be trusted in the future to get more cookies. Now, let's say that you weren't honest about that situation, and you didn't tell them about the 40 Oreos you ate. They're not going to trust you again. You're probably never going to see a cookie in the day of your life. Now, if you're honest about that, they will trust you. They might not like the fact that you kind of stole all the Oreos, but they'll forgive you. Now, unfortunately, the world has many social justice issues, which is very sad, as all people are human and they all deserve the same rights. And some people just can't seem to get that through their heads. One that seems to hit me the closest to home is LGBTQ rights, as my mother and a lot of my friends at school are gay. Seeing the ones I love and care about really hurt me and get offended. It really hurts me when I see people that I care about get harassed and discriminated simply because they want to love who they want to love. Which is why I want to get those that don't seem to understand the concept of being nice to understand the concept of being nice. And no, if you're thinking I'm going to go out and hit them, no, I don't want to hit them. I'm just going to tell them. Don't do that, please. I'm also going to speak out against that kind of hate, because this hate is not welcome in this society, much less this church. So yeah. Now, on a less serious note, but on a still pretty serious note, is the trip to Boston. The trip to Boston was, in my opinion, probably the most excellent experience I've ever had when it comes to learning about this faith, as it's a little more immersive than just sitting in a classroom and going through the lesson. It's actually getting your hands-on experience with this religion, which is probably the best religion I've ever gone to. It helped me figure out what the meaning of my life is. It helped me figure out what the meaning of love is, which is pretty effective if you want to live life and love people. Probably one of my favorite things that we got to do was visit the UUSC headquarters, or they call it the social justice headquarters. There we had a discussion about what we believe is right and what we believe isn't right. And there's one thing that kind of struck me the most was just how many human rights people deserve to have. And just that alone amazes me, that there are 30 rights in society that we all deserve, but not everyone gets. And the fact that not everyone gets that really encourages me to help and make sure that people get all those rights. Which is why I really like that part of the trip. And I assure you there are many other parts of the trip, but it was just this part specifically that I really liked. Now, on an even less serious note, was all the fun stuff we did other than learning about a religion, which is kind of a good thing if you don't want to have your head explode from all the thoughts that you're having to think about. And that part for me was probably the ocean. The ocean was probably the best part because it's the ocean. I've never gone to see the ocean in my life, much less get out of this state and go all the way to Massachusetts for a week. Now, the North Atlantic Ocean was a lot colder than I wanted it to be, and it's not going to warm up anytime soon. Oh wait, global warming, never mind. But yeah, I also got to collect a bunch of rocks, which I like rocks. And I also got to collect a lot of seashells. I also really like seashells. But the beach was also really fun because you don't think that the weather would be as hot as it would be for Boston, and 90 degrees is a lot better than 100 degrees back at home. Now, I'd like to thank everybody that decided to use their hard-earned cash to fund this amazing group of teenagers here at the front row on the right side or left. And I really do thank you, because thanks to your hard-earned cash that you probably could have been spending on your other things, totally not fun stuff, you decided to spend it on an amazing group of 10 people, and you help them hopefully learn from everything, and hopefully they will become better people in the future. And I assure you, we totally didn't spend it all on Starbucks or coffee, right? But yeah, thank you for listening to my credo, and hopefully you did enjoy it. Thank you.
Sorry about the technical difficulties. But anyway, my name is Barry, and I hope you all are having a good morning, and I would like to read my credo for you all. To me, I believe that the meaning of life is to live out my own personal beliefs and values that I learned at All Souls. I don't believe in a God, but I do believe that all people of many kind have a soul inside us. Something like a little God that controls them to their good decisions and to all their good deeds. People may be asking, hey, what's your principle that is more likely to you? Well, simple. I believe that the fourth UU principle is important to me. We believe that each person must be free to search what is right and what is true in their lives. I believe that caring for others and loving each other is like being a family, and that is what I respect the most. But anyway, I think that everyone has the right to follow their own beliefs. I believe that everyone is equal to one each other. I want to live this out for myself by treating people at my work the same and like me. Golden rule: treat others how you want to be treated. But anyway, you should treat others regarding of their color, regarding of their gender, and regarding their sexuality or their religion. I think that there is more than one option to everything. I am really concerned about the issues that is happening in the world. One of the most issues that is going on is police brutality. I want to start stepping in and advocating for justice. it really breaks my heart every time I see on the news about like some white cop shooting down a black man, and especially if it's one of my friends, or even though it's a stranger, it still breaks my heart. But anyway, back to a positive subject. What I enjoy most about our Boston trip is that we learned a lot of community and a lot of social justice issues. Not just here in America, well, of course, but a lot of them around the world. Anyway, I learned all this stuff at the UUA headquarters and basically everywhere we went. But anyway, it was really fun to explore all these cultures and, most of all, the different kinds of food on the trip. I like to thank everyone for supporting our trip and not wasting all your money on V-Bucks on Fortnite. But anyway, I would like to thank you all for taking care of all these people on our trip. But anyway, I gotta go now, so thank you very much. By the way, sorry for the technical difficulties I was having. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name's Aaron. I'm kind of nervous. So here's my credo. I believe the Greek gods Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Ares, Athena, Hermes, and Aphrodite, and others put us here. Anything is possible just enough with enough proof. One UU principle that is important to me is the seventh principle, which states, We believe in caring for our planet Earth, the home we share with all living things. To me, that means that we need to stop harming the Earth. We need to stop using harmful fossil fuels so we can stop global warming. We need to use renewable energy such as wind, solar, water, and thermal energy. I plan to use renewable resources as a welder in the future. I value honesty in myself and others. You do not have to be mean to be honest. You could put the truth in a kind and friendly way to avoid hurting others. Before you say or do something, remember to think. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Or is it kind? If we keep these questions in mind, will we be honest without being hurtful? We also need to help people affected by storms and hurricanes. We can send supplies to people who lost their homes to natural disasters. Another way that we could help is actually by going to where the disaster happened and help rebuild things people lost. We could take people into our homes and help them while their homes are being rebuilt. People can help people that are affected by natural disasters by doing a lot of things. One thing that I would like to do in the future is to go help people rebuild their homes and other things. Thank you.
Hello. As some of you don't know, I am Arabella, and this is my credo. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I believe that I don't know what the meaning of life is, but we still come up with ideas for it. I don't believe in a God, but I believe in a higher force. I want to be part of a force for good by helping friends who are depressed or need help. I also try to stand up to bullies and try to convince them to treat others differently. I believe in the fifth principle, that all persons should have a vote about the things that concern them. This is important to me because everyone should have a right to choose something that they want. I believe in the right to vote for your choices. I want to make a YouTube channel to help people donate to charities that will help animals and children. Here are some of the causes that I want to support. The Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, the Smile Train, Ryan's Well, Wayside Waifs, and UNICEF. I might adopt a child when I am older so that I can give a home to someone who needs it. I really value music. I will take vocal and piano lessons with Sarah, who was my children's choir teacher when I was younger. I hope to use this experience to help me pursue my dream of being in theater. Thomas Sanders is a YouTuber, and he's a role model for me who uses his theatrical and music ability to lift others up. I want to be able to lift others up too. I don't think that anyone should fight in a war that they don't want to fight in. I would like to see the draft ended. I think that men and women should be treated equally in the military and everywhere. I am a feminist. I believe in equal rights for everyone. I really support rights for the LGBT community and other communities like that. All Souls is a place where everyone matters and is accepted. And I feel like this is a very safe space for all of us to be who we are. I believe that Black Lives Matter. I'm glad we have the sign on our church. I love this church. I'll live my Unitarian Universalist values in the best way that I can in the future. And before I end this, thank you all for donating to all these 10 people. And we got to go to Boston and have so much fun. And we ate food and it was good. And thank you all so much.
Hello, my name is Isaac, and I am a Unitarian Universalist. I would like to share with you my beliefs. I believe that God is a hypothetical ideal. As an atheist, I believe that most people in the world become more respectable people because of an essence of religious faith. Practices like prayer and meditation can bring comfort and clarity. I'm still wondering if I might turn out to be agnostic in the near future. Everything we know of is made out of stardust, but we haven't discovered everything. I believe that there is another energy inside of us. Let's refer to this energy as soul. Soul is created from energy, perhaps dark matter. I'm still trying to find out what kind of energy source makes soul. When soul and stardust blend together, they create life. When life dies, soul starts breaking away from stardust. I envision that we humans go through one last stream. Then our soul shoots up into the sky to find more stardust, so it can create new life. That energy can then travel through the space-time continuum and the multiverse. I'm still trying to find out how consciousness is made and how that works. Soul energy is not good, nor is it evil. For humans, I believe that good and evil is a complicated thing that I'll try to explain. In order to make things happen, we make choices. Those choices can be good or evil. Choices are generated by our brains, since it is our mental core. The brain is affected by how we are born and our environment. I'm still working on how free will fits into this belief. None of these beliefs would exist without the power of creation. In fact, none of us would exist without the power of creation. We create through many ways, through words, visuals, sound, and even our daily tasks. I have an analogy called the creation car analogy. Creation is the car, creativity is the engine, imagination is the garage. You open the garage door, expression is the driveway, and your destination is your purpose in life. My destination is inspiration. Every human has a different purpose or destination. I'm finding out more factors that I can add to and go beyond this analogy. Even though we all have different purposes, I believe that we have not discovered the meaning of life. I also believe that we should be free to discover that meaning. As our fourth principle says, we believe in a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. I'm still trying to find that meaning. I invite you all to come talk with me after service, and hopefully I have inspired you all to search for a meaning and have more than just one purpose. Have I succeeded? Yes.
We are David and Lenisa Robinson. We are long-term members of this congregation. I am a new member of your board of trustees. Isaac's our son. And we were going to get up here and talk about how much we value religious education in this church, but I think just from hearing what these young adults have told you, there's nothing we can say better than what they said. So I just want to tell you that as a member of the Board of Trustees, my heart, my passion is our younger generation. These young people here, the children's choir, all the kids that come in here, watching them grow up and become solid members of our community. And so this is what I will be working for from here on out. Our older son, Walden, 15 years ago, went through also through the coming of age, and we watched him and his friends go on to become caring, productive adults. So, and just so you know, Walden and his fiancee will maybe coming back within the next year, bringing our grandson Oliver to also grow up in this congregation. So, yeah.
If you're writing a check this morning, please put in the memo line, music and religious education. I will just add that this morning with our music, you're only hearing 2 of our 3 choirs. Come back later during the season to hear the bell choir as well. The offering will now be received.
Will you please join with me in dedicating our offering? We dedicate our offerings and our actions to the mission at the heart of this congregation, to build a respectful, caring community, to inspire personal and spiritual growth, and to create change toward a just and compassionate society.
Hello, my name's Zachary, and I'm going to share my credo. To me, the meaning of life means to strive to be kind, nice, and to grow as a person. The biggest influences on my life have been scouting in the UU Church. I'm not sure whether God exists or not. However, I believe that working to make myself a better person is the primary meaning of life. In the church I attended before I came to All Souls, I was taught not to have opinions about my beliefs. We were advised not to ask questions, and if we did, we were given the same answers over and over again. In Boston and at All Souls, I have learned that the UU Church is a lot more welcoming and a lot more diverse. You can be a Unitarian Universalist, and you can be a Catholic or a Jew or anything else. It doesn't matter. My teachers at All Souls actually care about my opinions. I feel like my voice is being heard. I am treated as an equal at All Souls. The UU principle that is important to me is the first principle, which states, we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Remembering that every person has inherent worth and dignity is very important, especially in this age of wars, discrimination against people with our beliefs and ours, other races, and other opinions. If we keep in mind that every person has worth, we can resolve conflicts that arise between different groups of people. During a conflict, one person often believes that they are better or superior than others, and may believe that they are right and everybody else is wrong. If we keep the first principle in mind, it will help us resolve conflict because we will remember that everybody has worth and dignity. And we will realize that we are not always right, and somebody else may come up with a better answer. I want to live my life by following the values taught to me as a Boy Scout and a UU. One of these values I have learned is the value of being helpful. I can be helpful by doing service projects, such as picking up trash, making care packages for soldiers, helping out a blood drive, and planting flowers. I can also be helpful by holding doors open for others and helping my grandma and grandpa cross the road and my grandma with her wheelchair. The Scout motto is do a good turn daily, which means do at least one good thing that helps somebody else daily. This could be anything as simple as sharing a simple smile with a stranger, or as big as helping your dad cut the grass in your yard. Here at All Souls, I like to help with Restart, Sunday Plus Lunch, the book sale. I am also glad to help Judith whenever she asks me. A social justice issue that is important to me is racial justice. One way I can help is if somebody is being bullied, I can help them and stop the bullying. One of these issues that I care about is the economic divide between people of color and white people. People of color are also more likely to get a longer sentence than a white person for committing the same crime. It is important to see people for who they are, not as a stereotype of their race, or job, or gender. When we see them as good people who may have some problems, we can try and help them. I am grateful to get to go to Boston and visit the College of Social Justice, where I learned about all the good works UUs have done around the world. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kari, and I would like to share with you my credo. My credo is about beliefs, values, reals, and truths to live by and strive for. The meaning of life to me is freedom of speech so that everyone can speak their own mind. I believe in respect for all religions so that no one is discriminated upon. In Boston, I saw plenty of homeless people and people who do not have good health care or any health care at all for that matter. My favorite principle is the fifth principle. We believe that all people should be treated fairly and kindly. We think of where someone is coming from before arguing with them. Not to discriminate, and to treat others as you would want them to treat you, also known as Golden Rule. I have more than 3 beliefs, but I will talk about 3. Inclusion is important, as in letting everybody play. I think it is important to have fun with others, and thirdly, don't ignore a problem, as it only gets bigger. I have 4 main beliefs about racial justice. Raising awareness from the general public, as in posting flyers on social media and all that. Ensuring that all people have the right to work. Good health care for everybody. And more and better job opportunities for racial minorities. And now, for my favorite parts about the Boston trip. I enjoyed playing pool and discussing the great points about or at the USC headquarters with another youth group that was also at our hostel. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I got to try Vietnamese pho, which is a soup that I've never had before, and visiting the MIT campus. One of my favorite things was the installation where we saw where MIT campus students made their machines and posted them so that other people can see their brightness and creativity. One of my favorite machines is a machine that poured oil on itself continuously. That was cool because my dad's an engineer and I want to be at least some kind of engineer in the future. And I enjoyed going out for bubble tea and coffee with friends and going to the John Quincy and John Adams Church where they are buried in the crypt, and one day before that they were honored the day before we got there. And I would like to thank everyone, and especially my mentor, for supporting this trip. Thank you.
Maybe one more round of applause for the whole group, shall we? I hope you'll take a chance to greet these young people. They'll be standing with me right outside the door after the service, right? Yeah, okay. We didn't talk about that, but I hope that's what's going to happen. All right, and now if you will please rise and body your spirit, we will sing together. We laugh, we cry.
We need to
To our coming of age youth, may you experience joy and contentment as you move forward in your lifetime journey of discovery. May both character and compassion guide your lives. May you never feel alone. May you always feel loved and supported by your All Souls community. May you offer love and service to the world. May you walk your path through the light and through the darkness with hope and faith and grace. And now, go forth into the world with peace.